Hi everyone, welcome to the third part of our crochet along. I almost said sew along. So this is the third video. I've already worked on two, and by now you would have seen that. And voila, this is what we have come up with in the last 2 weeks. So I did finish the whole spool of raffia. So this, we had worked on one of these, and this is the entire spool of thread. So I thought that I would only get like 2 to 3 inches, but we actually got, despite the size of the expansion or the lip that I wanted, we got a good, I'd say 8 inches. Let me just grab a ruler and we will measure. Okay, so we were working originally with a 5 by 5.9 inch round bag bottom. After doing 2 single crochets per hole and then increasing after one round to an additional single crochet on the 4th stitch of each, we came up with an increase of the bottom from 6 inches to 8, okay, more or less. And then I just went on and without adding any more increases, went all the way. So from the base to here is around another 8 inches. So it's a very good sized bag. I feel like I should really stop here and start working on the handle. So this is how it looks. You can see my stitch markers because I'm trying to count. When I counted the periphery of the project, it came out to 102 single crochet stitches. So I'm still trying to decide whether or not I will just put on one of those ready-made handles and crochet it into the bag, or my original plan was to actually crochet a handle but to knot the handle. I'm so obsessed with the Bottega Veneta designs right now, and they have one purse which has the handle wrapped around but it's knotted on one side. I'll try to do a picture-in-picture for this. So I have found the center of each side. I want to do something squarish at the top and then maybe fold on this side. And if I can execute it the way I'm wanting to, it should close this way. Maybe put a metal clasp here, or I can also put a hook, a closure. But the idea is to close here. So that's one way of doing it. Another way I can do it, which is how I want to work the project and which is how I will proceed for now, is I intend to crochet a decreasing handle here, fold the handles, knot, and then finish it to the other end. So it's not just a matter of attaching, and it will come out as part of the whole bag. If I were to put a handle, I would prefer to put something that would close, probably a leather bar or a button or magnetic closure here, and then I would crochet the handles on this side. Now most handles are 6 inches, and it's showing here that this is like 7, so I would have to decrease it some more to accommodate the correct width. So I'm okay with that shape actually, and if I fold it and show you, it's going to come out to something like this. So that's a nice shaped purse, not too big, not too small. Then I can embellish it, but I'm really worked up about crocheting the handles from the top. So this is all single crochet. I told you I was thinking of what chunky stitch to use, but because I had a hard time with the raffia, and it is a little bit of a struggle, even when once your hands get used to it, because raffia is fiber, and this one is actually, I think, 3-ply. So you have to be careful that your needle does not snag it as you pull stitch to stitch. Actually, in some parts, I had to do, you know how there are 2 loops in a single crochet. I had to do it one at a time instead of just pulling the yarn in through the 2 loops, which we would normally do with yarn. So I didn't really end this and fasten this well. I just wanted to see. I also, one learning from this is that the way I connected the rows showed a rib. There are videos online, I know, which will demonstrate or teach us how to do it without actually having a visible rib like that, but I kind of liked it. One learning from this also is that I was so excited to show you how to crochet with a bag bottom that I failed to take note where I started the round. So if you look at it, I would have loved to have the foot that way, the feet rather, and then have the center somewhere here. I'm not off by much, but it's, you know, so the way the center is right now, it's like to the right of center, which is fine. I mean, this is for my personal use, so I'm learning as I go along. I have enjoyed crocheting this. I would normally do like 3 to 4 rows each sitting before my hands totally felt tired. And then it was very easy to come up with it. I can't wait to start on the next bag bottom, but I do want to finish this. I am working on other projects concurrently, so it's sort of like me working on this, but also trying to go on and do other projects. I will do a separate update on those because this is really for the crochet along. So my stitch markers, which came with my needles, by the way, are positioned so that I found the center of both sides and both edges. So if you align and pull, you'll see that they sort of align. Yes, they do. So because there were 102 stitches, there was an extra stitch to one of the quarters. So instead of 25, 25, 25, it came out to 25, 25, 26, 26. Okay. So what I'm thinking is I would start from the 26th and the and crochet all the way in, and flip, and then decrease by 1 on each row. So again, this would be the 26 stitches, so that's 13 and 13 on each side. I would start here, decrease until I reach, my goal is to reach 18 or 20. I'm doing this as I go along, so I'm trying to plan it in my head, but I'm not sure that that's how it's going to be. I also try not to kill myself over doing more stitches or doing less, because the 88 increased by 1 stitch every 4th stitch would have been, so 88 plus 11 would have been 99. But I have 102 stitches. So, like I said, I'm not going to kill myself over that. I already ordered extra spools of the thread. So again, links will be provided like in my previous videos. And I'm going to try and begin with my handle on the right. So the idea is to start stitching here, and then we're going to work our way to the other side. So that way, after I knot the handle, we can then decide how tall or how much of a handle we're going to have. So I always leave like 2 inches or 1 inch. I'm going to try to do this without totally rocking. Okay, so here's my 3mm hook, and now I'm not going to be off cam. I think I found a good setup whereby I can actually make this work and not give you a hard time watching me do it. So how do I connect? The usual, I cradle this portion of the thread with my thumb, put my hook in, pull it out, oops. Raffia, as like I said before, is a little tricky to work with. We're just going to move the stitch marker so I know where I began. Over there, just to give me space to work in. Okay, there you go. So that's my anchor stitch, and then I'm going to do my first stitch there, but only one loop, because I do want to start my decrease here. So see, it's already leaning. So since we're going to be decreasing, as we work our way through to the other side, we will remember to do the same for the last 2 stitches. So we are going to work our way to the other side, tucking the extra raffia cotton underneath. I don't want to do like just a short handle, because then that would put stress on the portion where the handle is actually attached. If I had chosen to attach a handle to this purse, I would have chosen one where I would have had to attach like maybe 4 inches of the handle, like a circular or one of those almost triangular rounded handles that are available on Amazon. And I don't know, give me your thoughts and let me know what you think would work best. See, this is what I mean. It's not as simple as pulling the thread through. I actually do it in 2 steps, and that's fine. I mean, raffia is not as smooth or easy like cotton yarn, or you know, the soft yarns that we work with for sweaters and other stuff. I am already thinking of also trying out the Bottega Veneta bag, which is like it's not granny squares, but it's crocheted squares, and I think that would be very easy to pull. It's just that I'm working on a separate Bottega Veneta bag or clutch right now, and I will do a separate video on that again, but I just wanted to mention it, and I will try to show you a sample of it before I sign off for this crochet along. So I tried to move the stitch markers earlier, but I only did it for the center on each side, just so I have it identified. I don't really use stitch markers, to be honest with you, but I just thought it would be easy for this project, because I'm trying to find the center and I'm trying to find the same space or its equivalent space on the other side of the project. So here you go. So we're almost at the other end. One thing I'm reluctant to do is to turn, because all my stitches have been the same side because I've been going around, right? So we do know there will be a difference in the way the stitch looks, but then it's the handle. So I've been experimenting with how it would look. And we'll see. So this is the second to the last. And then let me just move the stitch marker. And that's supposed to be my last. Let's just mark it. So I just take one yarn in, yarn out, yarn in, and then pull through 2 stitches. and close. So you can see on both sides it's curved in. There's on the right and this one's on the left. So we turn the project and we're going to do the decrease again by 2. So this, oh, sorry. There you go. I'm debating, do I do the extra stitch or not? No, let's not do it because we're decreasing. So I take 2 again, 2 stitches, pull through. So see, the slant is very pronounced. So we're trying to, it's very visible against the white. So we'll keep going. And we'll just do this until we reach a good size of the handle to see how it's, because I wanted to see how the handle is affecting the shape of the bag. There you go. So I've been crochet crazy lately. I'm actually doing 3 projects, and then I'm trying to resist doing the 4th because that would mean buying more yarn. I have had to buy extra, a new hook because of a t-shirt yarn project I'm working on. And I thought I had most sizes, but then I didn't have the one that the t-shirt yarn required. That one is a very exciting project for me because the bag that I'm trying to reproduce had retailed for, I think, over $4,000. The current used bags that are in the market are retailing for anywhere from $1,300 to $1,600. So it is very nice and fancy, and by a very, very distinguished fashion house, Bottega Veneta. I hope I'm saying that right. Whoops, what am I doing? Totally got distracted there. We're still doing single crochet, which is just a very simple 2-step process, but it's 3 steps because of the material we're working with. Again, we're working with Raffia cotton, which is a little harder. Okay, so from 26, we're going to go to, this is currently going to be 24, but we're reducing by 2. So from 26 stitches marked, we went to 24, we're going to 22 on this row. Okay, so we're now at the last, oops, no, that was the last, second to the last stitch. So we're going to do 1 stitch and the last, oops, I don't think, that is a little, no, that would have been, I think I'm hitting, oh no, here. Okay, Dina, make up your mind. No, here it's the second to the last and the last. So it's a little tricky because, okay, so there. So you can see it shifting. Then we flip again. We close the row. Sorry, I keep flipping before I close. And then, so this will work. No, that's a double. So that should be good. Okay, we don't want to be going off cam. So we're doing, again, 1. And then the second stitch, because we're trying to decrease towards the left. So that's 1. So this should take us to, I'm counting in my head, 20. And then I'm hoping to stop at 18 because I would like to see how the handle or the material or that portion of the handle that we're doing will fold. So see, I can see my phone stand sort of swinging, so I'm hoping it's not as crazy when I review the video, or the stability of the camera holds. Apple has actually been very good with developing their stabilization, especially with the 14. I bought a gimbal before I got the 14, and I hardly use the gimbal these days if it's the 14 that I'm working with. There you go. So again, we're almost at the edge. You watch out for the last 2 stitches, which is the stitch. This is it. So we take one hook, instead of finishing the stitch, we pull through both because we're trying to reduce. Okay. So you'll see a pronounced tension. Sometimes it does not shift the same way, which is okay, because again, we're not going to kill ourselves over perfection. Crafting, I think, should be something fun and enjoyable, and we should give ourselves allowances for mistakes or do-overs, or, you know, sometimes what makes something special is its imperfection. It's being different. It makes it different and unique, and I think that's a good yardstick by which we should measure our productivity and our quality of work. Okay. So I don't know if I'm just imagining it, but I'm seeing an unevenness. Okay, wait, see there. There was part of the raffia that got snagged, which is, so I had to undo the stitches. You have to be careful with this because it's not a solid cord. It's several I'd say plies. I don't know if it applies, but it's the same. It's several strings of fiber that have been woven together. So you just don't want to accidentally snag one, because that will weaken the stitch. So that's why I do it in 2 actions, and it's actually hard to try to pull it in one because of the, I'd say, rigidity of the material. I love the way raffia forms. It's just that it's not that easy to work with. So doing the other bag that I'm thinking about, which I will try and show you a picture of, is, well, it's something I'm thinking about, but not too sure I'm gonna do. So again, we did the last 2 stitches, just pulled hoops out of it, and then closed. So I think we're close to we're at the 18. So let me count first before I go ahead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16. Oops, I think I did over, so I'm at 16. So the question is, am I going to pull this out and then just continue? Because I think I started at 26. Maybe it's because so what would be determining for me is how this would fold. Because I was hoping for, of course, I can always extend the handle, because this would fold. My idea is to fold whatever I crochet from here on, and then sort of knot it. I think it's a good, I think I'll be happy with that, and if I'm not, then we're just gonna have to repeat it. No, right, famous last words. Let's do it again. Let's unstitch. Okay, so from here on, we are going to go ahead and stitch one stitch per stitch in the row below. We're just going to continue. I plan to do this for the next, I'd say, 6 to 8 inches, because I want to be able to give myself enough room to knot the handle. So I am so happy I'm not off cam. I'm no longer at the edge of the frame. Thank you so much. So total time for this, I stopped working on this like I think over the weekend. This is the first time I'm touching the bag again. I haven't been working on this the whole week, so it's been off and on. Like I said, I'd do 1 inch of the whole round at a time. I just want to do like maybe 2 more rounds to see how it goes. So I'm going to keep doing this until I find a good length to start folding, because I'm not going to do just a single, just a single row of this. The handle has to be reinforced somehow, and I'm planning to fold. That's why this is a little thicker. So we are at 16 stitches, and 16 is actually measuring out at just under 4 inches. Oh yeah, just under 4 inches. So what's the idea? Let me just keep going for a bit more before I pause for the next bit. So what I'm planning to do is to just keep going and then fold and then knot. So for me to be able to see, I keep doing this, I should close out the row before I flip. I'm flipping. So I want to be able to come up with enough to be able to knot it. So I'm going to go off cam, work on this the next couple of days, and come back to you with the next video before we finish. I also am trying to decide how I will finish the edges once it's done. And then trying to decide what closure we will use. I think with the handle I'm using, I want to be able to put something in the middle of the bag, either to close it on this end, so the handle would be from here to the other side, right? It'd be like that. I want something to close this, or I can stitch something inside, sort of to cover. So those are thoughts, and like I told you, I'm not working off of a pattern, so it's sort of a stitch with me as I go along. That's why it's a crochet along, and I like that because to me it's challenging. So I spent actually maybe an hour or two before I decided, to count the stitches and then see what I can do or where I can start and end the handles. And I'm really excited to see how I can embellish. So right now we're working on that. So we're probably an inch into the handle. So I'm going to work on the rest off camera. I will come back when I have enough material to work with, and then we can see how to knot it, how it would work if we knotted. Let me just loosen this because I wanted to show you. So the idea I have is actually to close once we have enough of the handle. I'm intending to close this way, and then continue. So that should be that should be a good length. I mean, based on the body also. And it should be steady enough and sturdy enough, not just steady, sturdy enough to hold the bag. So right now, like I said, I'm very happy with how it's come out. And then I can either, so part of what will pull the shape of the bag is how thick or how long or how tall I want the handle to be. So depending on how the knotted handle comes out to, I can force or mold it to a shape that will have more of a sexy top, meaning it's going to be a narrower top and then a sexy rounded bottom there. I am very happy. I can't wait to start the next project. But before that, let me give you a preview of the other project I told you about, which is also a Bottega Veneta bag. Hold on. Okay, so I saw this very cute clutch online, and there are several of them available in different websites. Bottega Veneta itself is not offering it anymore. So as you can see, it's a crocheted bag, it's t-shirt yarn, and it works through a couple of puff stitches. So I bought a pattern, and I also looked online if there were any other sources. Oops, ring light showing. Other resources I could use to sort of try to come up with it. And after buying the pattern and watching a few vids, I actually was able to come up with this. So this is the basic panel. The project requires like one panel of 5x7 puffs, and this is the front, which uses 3 rows. You can see here it's a rather big clutch. It looks tiny here, but if you look at the model, the way it's held, it's actually, let me just go to that shot. What really got my attention was that's something I can actually make. So we are here, we're doing the handle. I'll come back later and show you my progress, maybe by next week. And again, thank you for joining me for this project, and I hope that you will subscribe and hit the like button and come back for my other vids later. Happy crafting!